Intermittent fasting was something that actually got me in shape. It was really effective. It was super effective, and I'll put it up on the screen. The very first time, it is a good thing if you can do it. I don't want to on it completely, but it is a good thing. It does help you control your calories. It does make you more disciplined, and it does prevent you from overeating. In today's video, I want to talk about intermittent fasting. I want to talk about if I believe if intermittent fasting something good to do. That's what I'm going to talk about. Now, my experience with intermittent fasting was actually pretty good, but I'm going to discuss why I don't choose to intermittent fast anymore. Now, intermittent fasting is when you give yourself a window of time to eat throughout the day. So instead of you eating all day, instead of you eating from when you wake up all the way until you go to sleep, you'll choose a window of time between the hours of the day that you're completely up from when you wake up to go to sleep. You'll choose a window in there to eat instead of the whole day. So instead of you eating from 8 in the morning all the way to 10 o'clock, you'll cut it down and you'll eat from 2 p.m. all the way to 10 p.m. or 4 p.m. all the way to 10 p.m. or your 12 in the noon all the way to 8. You'll choose a window of time within the hours that you're up to eat. Now, is this effective for weight loss? Yes, it is. But it depends who you are. Not a lot of people like to go hours of the day without eating. I know I don't. That's one of the reasons why I choose not to do it. It requires you to have discipline, right? So now, if you're somebody that is just getting into fitness and getting into dieting, and then now you add intermittent fasting on top of your dieting, now that is difficult. It's already difficult to get yourself to eat less. Now you're getting yourself to eat less, but then now also eat it a window of period throughout the day to which you are going to be hungry the other hours of the day. So if I wake up and I choose to eat between 2 p.m. and 10 p.m., and I'm the type of person that wakes up 8 a.m. to go to work, or I have to drop the kids off at school. Now, all the way from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., I'm going to be hungry. So, somebody that's beginning or starting to get into fitness, having to have that discipline to go those hours without eating, and then on top of that, having that discipline to be able to eat less calories is could be potentially too much for that individual. Now, I was able to do it in the beginning because I had experience. I already was training. I already was disciplined. I already could get a blueprint, then implement it and get results. But not a lot of people can because they don't have the experience or had the experience that I had in the beginning. So that's like a big issue with intermittent fasting for me. So when it comes to intermittent fasting, right? You can't intermittent fast alone. This is another point I want to bring up. You can't intermittent fast alone. You can't just choose to eat between 2 to 10 p.m. And the fact that you're eating less throughout the day, less time throughout the day, when you eat between that window that you can, you still have to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. Just because you're fasting from 8 in the morning all the way to 2 p.m. doesn't mean that from 2 p.m. all the way to 10 p.m. you can eat whatever you want and then you still are going to lose weight just because you intermittent fast. Intermittent fast is used just to lessen the time or lessen the window of you eating throughout the day so you don't overeat. That's the big benefit that it has towards weight loss, and it's super effective because it's hard to eat in a excuse me, it's hard to overeat if you are eating in a small amount of window in a small window per day. it's hard to overeat. So it's good for controlling your calorie count in that way. But that's all it's good for. But it could potentially be making your diet more uncomfortable than actually pleasurable. So the second issue that I had with intermittent fasting was I didn't, it felt like a drastic lifestyle change, right? So now let's say if I wanted to go to breakfast with my friends and I chose to eat at 2 p.m. I would have to be at breakfast with my friends, have some water or have some non-calorie type of drink, tea or something like that, and not enjoy that. I know I could not intermittent fast every day, but what's the point of coming in and out of that discipline? Because if I intermittent fast, if I be like, okay, today I'm going to be out with my friends and let me enjoy myself now and break that intermittent fast. Now the next day I'm at high risk of breaking it. And the next day I'm at high risk of breaking it. The next day I'm at high risk of breaking it. Because what you do once becomes a habit or can potentially become a habit. So why break it? So I find myself sometimes not being able to enjoy certain moments, whether it's breakfast with friends or dinner with friends or going out with friends because I'm intermittent fasting. So I just felt like it was a big, drastic lifestyle change for me, which didn't make me feel as free as if I can eat all day. Now, when I first got in shape, intermittent fasting was something that actually got me in shape. It was really effective. It was super effective, and I'll put it up on the screen. The very first time, it is a good thing if you can do it. I don't want to shit on it completely, but it is a good thing. It does help you control your calories. It does make you more disciplined, and it does prevent you from overeating. It does. So if you have 2,000 calories to eat, and then you choose a 8-hour eating window, it's hard if you're making the right choices to actually overeat within that window. So it's really effective in controlling your calories. It really is. So do I suggest it? Yes, I do suggest it, and I think it's effective. But it if it doesn't work for you, then it may not work for you. You may have to go about it another way. And I think, me personally, is beneficial for people not to intermittent fast because, and this is my last point, it's because me, for example, when I was intermittent fasting and I was eating in the 8-hour window, eating in the 8-hour window is different from eating all day. When I'm eating all day, I have to choose better foods, right? I have to choose foods that's going to fill me up for a longer period of time throughout the whole entire day. So if I have 3 meals, if I have 4 meals in the 8-hour window, I don't have to be as careful in choosing foods that's going to make sure that I'm full for the whole entire 8 hours because I'm eating every 2 hours, basically. So choose I don't have to choose foods that are going to keep me full from 8 and all the way until 2 when it's time to eat again. And then foods that are going to keep me full from 2 all the way to 6. And then foods that are going to keep me full from 8 all the way to 10. It's completely different in the satiation of foods that you choose between eating in a 8-hour window versus eating all day. But me learning how to make my foods or how to prepare my foods in a way to where it can stretch all day, it makes me be able to be more free throughout my whole entire day and not restricted to a certain window of eating that may feel like a drastic change to my lifestyle. And I hope that made sense. So, is intermittent fasting effective? Yes, it's an effective way to lose weight, but it's a tool. And if that tool doesn't work for you, don't get caught up on it. So there's different types of windows. There's a 14-10 where you go 14 hours fasting, then you go 10 hours eating, right? And then there's a 16-8, to where you go 16 hours fasting and an 8 hour eating. I believe these two windows are more beneficial for somebody that's new to fitness and somebody that's new to dieting to ease their way in. But in my opinion, the 16-8 is probably like the most universal, effective way or effective eating window that's going to be it, because it's a balance between like the window being small enough for you to not overeat, but you not fasting for so long that you're going to be so hungry. Because out of that 16 hours, 8 you're going to be asleep, and then you fast 8 hours until you have to eat, and that's doable. Being able to fast for about 8 hours, that's pretty doable for most people. So the 16 8 hour window is where I say if you're going to try, try that because that's the most effective. So now I hope this video was helpful, and I'm going to post, if you want to watch another good video to up your fitness, I'm going to post a video here, and it's about only 3 ab workouts. Only 3 ab workouts that you need. And that video is going to be extremely helpful. And I know I'm not in a regular studio, but I had to get this video out to you guys because I felt like it was important. And I will catch you guys in the next one.